Summer's just around the corner. That means that we're going to have to entertain, probably host some gatherings outside. Have you thought about the condition of your furniture? Is your furniture ready? Is your furniture in condition to host a gathering, a party with friends and family? Well, you should visit morgan-burks.com. They have premium grade teak furniture that is ready for your entertainment, for your outdoors, for you to enjoy. Visit morgan-burks.com. Have you heard people say something like this? Once you hear this, or once you read this, everything you believe in will crumble. When somebody says that, it's an expression that challenges what you believe in. In other words, it challenges you. Everything you believe in will crumble if it's built on the sand. So here comes the question. Where is your life built on? On sand or rock? Because if it's built on sand, it will crumble. Yes, that means that everything that you believe in will crumble. And there is purpose. Everything has purpose. Everything has a reason. Everything has a meaning. That's why Jesus said it perfectly back then. A house that is built on a solid rock, the rain, floodwaters, winds, it won't collapse. Is your life built on sand or rock? Because if it's built on sand, yes, once you read something, once you see something, once you hear something, everything you believe in will crumble. But if it's built on a rock, it's not going to crumble. It's not going to collapse. I ask because it is important to ask ourselves, because there are going to be events in our life that warrant many questions. Yes, questions that are going to come to our lives of why this happened. How did this happen? Also, evil, betrayal, tragedy can make our life and everything we believe in crumble, yes. Not just a passing of a family member, not just a tragedy, but also a betrayal. If we encounter somebody evil or an evil, malicious event or an evil and malicious intent in our lives, betrayal can make our lives and everything we believe in crumble. And we don't need to go too far to back this up, because the one that is clear example of suffering betrayal was the Lord, not by a stranger, but somebody he trusted. Yes, he was betrayed by somebody he trusted, by somebody who shared a meal with him. He suffered betrayal. Or also the church of the living God, when they heard that Paul, the one who persecuted and executed members of the church before he was summoned by the Lord to exercise his apostolic right. Yes, let's not forget that. Before the Apostle Paul was to be the Apostle Paul, he used to persecute Jesus' followers. He used to persecute, apprehend, and even execute members of the church of the living God. Yes. But if you really think about it, on paper, did the church back then had reasons to fall apart? Yes, if you factor in just human sentiment, human emotions on paper, yes, those are reasons for somebody to fall apart and everything that they've believed in to crumble. Yes, because how are we going to follow Paul? He's the one that tormented us. He's the one that apprehended us. He's the one that executed our members of the church. But it was time. God saw that it was time to show the world and it was time to prove that there is a different faith. There is an ideal faith, a faith that is built on a rock. Because if you look at the past of the Apostle Paul, he was the one persecuting, apprehending, imprisoning, and also torturing and even executing followers of Jesus Christ, members of the Church of the Living God. So, the beautiful thing about this, that didn't make them crumble. They had grounds. It warranted grounds for them to fall apart, to them to leave the church, to them to go somewhere else. But they embraced Paul. That's why there is in the Bible so many letters that he sent to different churches, because they embraced him, because their faith was different. Their life wasn't built on sand. Their life was built on a rock. And they embraced Paul. They forgave everything that happened before. They managed to oversee everything that he had done before he was summoned by God. I say summoned because he was already chosen for that ministry. He was chosen to exercise the apostolic ministry at one point in his life. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't because the other apostles voted for him. No. He was chosen for that task at that point in time. And they realized that. The church realized that. Hey, this is beyond our human understanding. This is beyond what you and I, democratically speaking, would want him. You think they would have voted for him? No, of course not, because he was the one that persecuted them. But it was time to prove. God said, this is time to prove that there is a faith that I want. There is a life that I want. A life that is built on a rock, not on sand. Don't get easily shaken or alarmed, it says in another verse. Don't be easily shaken or alarmed. Yes. Because there were events back then that could make somebody from the church of God, Jesus Christ followers, to fall apart. Yes. Betrayals, scandal, all of that. When the Apostle Paul was unjustly imprisoned, because he spent a lot of his life imprisoned. They accused him of sedition, even though that was totally opposite. So he was unjustly imprisoned. You don't think that there were people in his prison, men who were saying, hey, Paul, this God you worship, if he's so good and merciful, why he has you in here? Why are you in here? Those words can make someone doubt, yes, and say, you know what? That is true. Why am I still in here? God, if this God is merciful, why am I still in here? Yes, those words can make somebody's life crumble, somebody's belief system crumble. That's true. You know what? You're right. But the ones who build on a rock, like the Apostle Paul, he would say, and he many times said, my suffering is not compared to any of the suffering that the Lord embarked on and suffered. Yes. In other words, nobody is exempt of suffering if the Lord suffered. Yes. Nobody is exempt. It would be arrogant if I would think, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why? That's arrogant. You don't think the Apostle Paul could have said the same thing? Yeah, why me? Why am I going through this? You know what? You're right. But at no point they show arrogance. No. A person who expresses himself like that is an unwise person. Yes. A person who is doubting like that and always questioning and saying, why me? That is an unwise person with a fragile faith, with a fragile life. Yes. In other words, a person who expresses himself like that, it's a weak person. A weak person who has been shaken to the core. Because it also says, for this is the reason that, like I said, everything has a meaning, everything has a reason. Because it says, for I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Yes. All these turmoil, all these betrayals, all these scandals that we may see here are not gonna shake us, are not gonna make us crumble if my life is built on a rock. Do you have doubts? Do you feel like something seems like it's missing in my life? You want to, but you can't because you cannot get over something you experienced, or you cannot get over something you saw or heard. I want to, but something's missing, but I can't though. You'll know the tree by its fruits. If the tree you got close to doesn't seem like it's giving the right fruits, yes, maybe you found a tree, but you're doubting because is this the right tree? Am I getting the right fruits? Or you are still skeptical. There's something missing, right? Ask God to put you in the right path because you'll know the tree by its fruits. Ask God to put you on the path that will take you to His tree, the one that He has prepared for you. Ask Him to guide you. You need to understand not all the trees are the same, but you need to find His. His tree bears the fruits that will fortify your life. They will fortify your marriage, your family. It will give you wisdom. It will give you patience and understanding. See, all these great men in the Bible have supreme understanding of life. And I know that's what you want. Because even though these men, these great men in the Bible, suffered greatly, turmoils, betrayals, their faith transcended. They had a bigger understanding that at no point did their faith crumble, their life crumble. No. Because once you find the right and only tree that God has, your understanding of life will change. Your understanding of life will be fulfilled. Your understanding of life will go beyond your human capacity. Because the enlightenment He will give you goes beyond human understanding. And even people, when they tell you in life, how can you be so calm? Look at what's happening around you. That's the moment you'll realize, I found the correct tree. My house is built now on top of the rock. That means that if evil comes knocking at your door, you are not going to be shaken. If you suffer betrayal, your life is not going to fall apart. If you encounter challenges, you're not going to doubt and question, why me? Why this? No, because now you'll know your life is different. You'll have the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the enlightenment those great men also had back then. So I invite you, if there's something missing, if you feel like you need guidance to find that one tree that He has. I invite you to ask God, when was the last time you prayed, but to the point that you feel that you are not connected to this, let's say, time and space? When was the last time you prayed? In other words, with your heart. Don't repeat words. No, 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 no. Let me tell you that. Understanding too and enlightenment is nothing repetitive. So that means our words in our prayer shouldn't be repetitive. At night, if you get a chance, pray and ask God, Father, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I beg you to put me on the path where I'm going to find your tree. Put me on a path to find the rock that you have so I can build my life on it. And tell him your life. I don't know your life. It's something intimate between you and him. Tell him your life, how it's been, it feels, what's missing. Tell him that. What's missing? That you no longer want to be missing something in your life. That you want the fortification in your life, your marriage, your family, your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding of life should change them, that you want to change that. And he will put you on the right path. That's guaranteed. That's what I leave you folks today. Think about it. And also, you know what? If you have any questions, reach out. My email is available on my profile. Stay tuned for the next episode, guys.